Hey guys, Josie from Queen My Pawn. I have come across this. It hurts a lot when I accidentally just let the sharpness come out, because I get bored and I play with them. Then it just hurts me. Why does it hurt me though? Because it's a pin, and actually that's what we should be studying today: pins. Now I want to show you what happens in the Giuoco piano when white doesn't play as accurately as he or she should. Now over here, D3, because now they might want to threaten knight g5, now that the bishop is actually protecting the knight, but knight f6. We've already discussed knight g5 is a terrible move. So maybe they'll play knight c3. And now d6. Black gets ready to develop this light squared bishop. So although the position is symmetrical, it's white's turn, and it's white that could make a mistake here with something like castling. Castling is normally good, but in this position is actually a mistake. Now, the main idea is bishop g4. Here's the thing. This knight got developed to c3. And now, if white tries to break the pin with knight to e2, then just takes, and this is not that good for white. Notice that the queen can go from d8 to d7 to h3. And after this maneuver, or somewhere in between, black can castle queenside. So that's why castling is premature. Now, pinning this knight is often very powerful. But now, let's see what happens here when white tries to do the same thing. Is the position symmetrical? Actually, it's not, because white's castled and black's not. So let's attack the bishop with h6. Now the bishop could take, and then the queen takes, and then a knight takes a move to d5, threatening to fork. But we just simply defend with queen to d8. And after a move like this, it's pretty good for black, because then he'll be moving his knight to d4. So knight d5 is not really a good idea. If they try to keep the bishop, though, this is actually even worse because of this. So the bishop is attacked, and the bishop has nowhere to go. So it's stuck. And now we just continue the game simply with something like knight d4. You just got to put pressure on the pin piece. So here's what could happen. Knight d5. c6. Knight takes f6. Queen takes f6. And there's too much pressure on this. Let's go back a little bit. Actually, after bishop g5, you don't have to play h6 right away, but you can also play knight to d4. Knight to d5 now, trying to do the same thing. c6, knight takes f6, g takes f6, bishop h4. But now the rook can simply go to g8, and it has an open file. So knight takes f3, g takes f3, bishop to h3, attacking the rook. The rook moves to e8, to e1, then rook g8. White's in trouble. If white goes to h1, then we just win the queen with a discovered check. So bishop g3 has to be played, but now h5. And king goes to h1 to try and unpin himself. Now, what's the best move for black? So 3 seconds to pause the video and try to find the answer. Did you find h4? The bishop has to move or it'll be captured, and white has no counterattack. So bishop takes h4, And now the same tactic happens again. Just win the queen. So pins like this are dangerous in the Italian game. If we go back a bit more, we could just realize that castling is just too early to castle. So always put more pressure on this knight with on f3 if you can find some way to play bishop g4.